Exactly 3 months ago, the Prowlers visited Big Boy Arena for the Motor City Rockers' first ever game. Tonight, they renew the rivalry in the same building, but a new calendar year. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, and a big thank you to everybody for reaching 1,000 subscribers on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for subscribing and tuning in all season long. We're so happy that we've continued to be able to build this platform for the Prowlers on social media, and we continue to try and make it better and better every single game. We also want to remind you to play the Prowlers Pick'em. Take a look at our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter for details. Prowlers Pick'em, you can win prizes by predicting what will happen tonight, but you have to get your answers in before puck drop at 7:30. Well, it's going to be a good game for the Port Huron Prowlers who are finally home after being away for most of this new year so far, as they take on a Motor City Rockers club that has lost 3 straight games and has been shut out in their last 2. We'll get to all of that and more coming up on the pregame show. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here in Motor City on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel, as the Prowlers get set for another edition of the I-94 rivalry with the Motor City Rockers. Well, this is the halfway point of the I-94 rivalry this season, as the Prowlers and the Motor City Rockers have already played 8 games. They're now in the second half of the season series. Rockers have won 5 of the 8 games so far, but they sit lower than the Prowlers in the standings. Let's take a look back at both of these teams' last games. For the Prowlers, it was a great bounce-back win over the Binghamton Black Bears, a game that the Prowlers absolutely needed after getting blown out 13-2 in the first game in Binghamton, which, of course, helped a lot by the fact that the Prowlers have been playing so much recently in that recent time, traveling all around the country, and of course, they didn't dress a full lineup for either of those games in Binghamton, but the next night, the Prowlers bounced back. They went up 4-0 in the first period. Binghamton was able to tie it before the end of the second. It was 5-5 heading into the third, but Dan Chartrand scored the only goal of that third period in that game. And that was your game winner, as a shorthanded breakaway goal for the rookie Dan Chartrand to win that game. On the other side, we mentioned the Motor City Rockers have been shut out their last 2 games. Those games both came down in Columbus, Georgia, and Brendan Colgan got credit for both shutouts, as he made 31 saves in the second game. That was a week ago tomorrow, last Saturday, January 7th. The final score in that one was 4-0 in favor of the River Dragons. Well, Columbus now continues to sit atop the standings in the Continental Division as we take a look there. And for the Prowlers, it's been good that the Rockers did lose a couple of games, because that puts Port Huron ahead of Motor City in the department of win percentage, which is an important tiebreaker, as the Prowlers are now sitting at 50 points, still second in the Continental Division. Meanwhile, the Rockers sit 4th now in the Continental, with the Carolina Thunderbirds passing them. Well, it's been we mentioned it, the tough offense for the Motor City Rockers. 144 minutes and 54 seconds of game time since their last goal. That goal came right here in this building against the Prowlers. That was in the New Year's Eve game that the Prowlers did eventually end up winning. So it's been a tough road for the Motor City Rockers as of late. On the offensive side, they'll try and shake that off, but they'll do so without Derek Makima, one of their better players, one of their better scorers. He has 20 points for the Rockers so far this season in 26 games. So he will be out for both of these 2 games. He's serving a 2-game suspension for what I am told was an unpenalized stick to the face of Columbus goaltender Brendan Colgan on Saturday night. Apparently, he got his stick underneath Colgan's mask, hit him in the head, neck area. Again, it was an unpenalized play, but the league went back, they checked it out, and they gave Makima a couple of games as far as his suspension goes. You do have a new face for the Prowlers tonight. Well, a new old face if you've been a Prowlers fans for a little bit, as Chris Paulin rejoins the Port Huron Prowlers via trade from the Mississippi Seawolves. He was a Prowler for a few years, but last season he was fantastic for the Carolina Thunderbirds. Led the league with 20 wins, a 20-15-2 record. He's a second-team All-Star in the FPHL as well. He had a .339 goals against average and a .911 save percentage that season. He's bounced around a lot so far this season. Well, at least his rights have. He was traded from Carolina to Watertown for Ryan Devine in the offseason. And then he was released in October, signed by the Binghamton Black Bears, where he played a couple of games in December before he was waived and claimed by Mississippi in early January and traded shortly thereafter here to the Prowlers. The trade was for future considerations. He will back up Wyatt Hofflin tonight as the Prowlers will dress a full lineup for the first time since December 30th against these Motor City Rockers in this building. They will have a full 3 lines plus an extra forward and 6 defensemen, in fact. So a great thing for the Prowlers to finally have a full roster tonight. The forward lines are going to be Dan Chartrand, Sam Merritt, and Austin Federley. Evan Foley will center Larry Vartiainen and Sam Gagnon. And then Matt Graham centering Liam Freeboard and Dalton Jay. And then another new signee today, who is Ryan McLean for the Prowlers, someone who's here just to help fill out a roster spot for at least a couple of games, much like Christian Whitcomb was in Binghamton. He's been playing in the Allen Cup Hockey League, which is an Ontario senior hockey league. 5 games over the last 2 seasons and 2 points. He did play 3 college seasons at Carleton University up in Canada. Played juniors in the OHL, the CCHL, and the NOJHL. A champion in the latter 2 leagues. So Ryan McLean will wear number 28 tonight for the Port Huron Prowlers. The defense pairings will be Frank Schumacher, Gino Mini, and then Sam Williams and Dustin Henning. And then the starting defense pair for the Prowlers tonight, Alex Johnson and Adam Hainzel. So both teams stepping out onto the ice as we're just a few minutes away from puck drop here at Big Boy Arena. And we will take you down to ice level for the rest of the pregame festivities. So with the anthem done, let's meet the starting goaltenders for tonight's game. As for the Port Huron Prowlers, as it often is at the start of a series, it's Wyatt Hoplin in the goal crease for Matt Graham. 7-6-1 on the year with a .491 goals against average and an .855 save percentage, although the number of times he's played against the Mississippi Seawolves, you think that save percentage may be a little bit deflated, considering sometimes the shots can be a little low when they're counting in Mississippi, but no matter. On the other side, it's Blake Scott, who's played once against the Prowlers so far this season. He picked up a victory, but surprisingly not Trevor Babin. Ben Zalagi, the Motor City Rockers play-by-play broadcaster, gave me a little inside scoop that Trevor Babin is in concussion protocol, so he is not even dressed tonight. It's going to be Braddock Otten, who is the backup goaltender for the Motor City Rockers tonight. He has backed up 12 times in his FPHL career, has not seen a minute of action, but was the backup twice for Motor City this season. He was signed today as an emergency backup goaltender. So we're underway here as the Graham line starts it off against the Scott Coash line for Motor City. That's quickly dumped in. Hofflin starts it behind his own cage. Prowlers looking to get it out. So it comes back to center. Here's Adam Hainzel. Turned over. Conway couldn't get the shot off, and he got Johnson up high on the follow-through. Certainly purely accidental. Alex Johnson just down in a heap over there, as it did look like Conway got his stick up high on the follow-through of that shot. Alex Johnson seems to be all right as he heads off to the bench. We'll have an offensive zone face-off for the Motor City Rockers. As over 6 seconds have passed, so it's over 145 minutes since the Rockers' last goal. Ryder works it back to the point. Thompson put it on. It was blocked. Recovered by Motor City. Now Klauston trying to force it towards the slot, couldn't do it. Comes all the way around towards Freeborn. Liam Freeborn up to Graham. He starts a rush with Jay. Jay with a quick shot, save made by Scott. And he'll hold on for a whistle. We've played 58 seconds in the opening period. No score yet between the Prowlers and the Rockers. As the Foley line comes out for the Prowlers. 2 points in each game last week as the backhand goes in. Larry Vartiainen just threw the backhander on goal, and it beats Blake Scott. The Prowlers with an early 1-0 lead. Here I was praising Evan Foley, and he won the faceoff right to Larry Vartiainen. He also contributed offensively in Binghamton. Prowlers coming right back in, but a good early start for Port Huron from Larry Vartiainen. Cardinal at center. Tommy Cardinal was one of the ejections in the Wild last game between these two teams on New Year's Eve. Gino Mini with the puck now. He was another one of them. Declan Conway the third. That was a wild game here at Big Boy Arena. As the puck stays in the Motor City end, both teams making some changes as Nick McGill-Diaz curls back with it. Feeds it over to Josh Colton, all the way up in Coash's direction. Scott Coash turns the corner, moves in with speed. Coash to the net, and he rose that one high and wide. Coash with it again. Hoffman cuts it off behind the net. Pokes it towards Sam Williams. And now Federley on his way. Gets the red line, gets it deep. Dan Chartrand behind the cage. Cycles it to Merritt. Looking in front, Jay's there. And he couldn't get it on net through Blake Scott. Koash one-on-one with Hainzel. And a sharp angle shot from Koash is easily gathered in by Wyatt Hoffman, and he'll hold on. You know, I've been wondering why Wyatt Hoffman looks different today, and I just figured it out. He's finally wearing the red pants that the Prowlers wear. He's been wearing blue pants, which I'm going to assume is from his college at Mount Royal University. He's been wearing the blue pants all season up until now as he makes another good save. And now he's got those red pants on to match the rest of his teammates. Still with that Mount Royal mask, though. As here's Adam Hainzel. Off the boards towards Jay. Comes out to center. It comes right back to Hainzel. He'll work it up himself. Adam Hainzel into his own long shot. Blockered away by Scott. Graham battling with it for it on the boards. Here comes Dante Suffredini up to Gaudette. Quickly rink-wide pass. Shot from the sharp angle shot, fought off by Hoffman, worked out, back out in front. Here's Suffredini to the back door, and Ryder wasn't able to tap it home. Freeborn with a nice interception there. Jay plays it off of Freeborn's skate and deep. Liam Freeborn working towards that puck. Freeborn takes it away from Dante Suffredini. Foley out towards Mitty. He put it on, sticked aside by Scott. Now Schumacher down low. Foley just put it out in front. Puck bounced over Jay's stick, and then Freeborn couldn't get it on the cage. Finally, it's taken out and dumped in by Motor City. That's Everett Thompson, who did not play in either game in the last 2 days before the new year against the Prowlers. He was suspended for the first game and then scratched for the second. 15:47 to go, first period, as Tim Perks plays it off the boards. And that one over the line, offsides against the Rockers. 15:41 left to go in the opening period. We'll have a face-off just outside of the Prowlers zone, but they hold a 1-0 lead on Larry Vartiainen's 14th of the season. He's set career highs in goals and points so far this year in a season. He's also tied his career high for assists in a season. A career year so far for Larry Vartiainen. As it comes back to the point, Williams had his shot blocked. Conway going the other way. Here's Conway with a long shot. He scores. Declan Conway gets it back for the Rockers. We are tied at 1. Looked like the Prowlers were able to get back. Dustin Henning was back. He forced a long-range shot from Conway, but it was just perfectly placed as he beats Wyatt Hoffman with 15:23 to go in the first period. And it's Conway's 12th goal of the season. One of the leading scorers for this Motor City Rockers club. And he was a guy who Rockers certainly missed after he got ejected from the New Year's Eve affair. Good forecheck by the Prowlers, turns over the puck as Hainzel tried to put it on net, hit his own man Merritt on the way through. Now here's Conway, the goal scorer. Lifts it high and out. Johnson able to glove it down. Backhands it deep. Cade Lambden comes out with it, and it's worked back towards Alex Johnson. Sends Jay on his way. Here's Dalton Jay around the net, put it back out in front. Merritt just pushed it wide. All the way up top to Freeborn. Now Johnson wrists it off the backboards. Merritt sends it around. Koash lost it in his feet, but Freeborn couldn't kick it up to his stick, so he kicked it all the way to the corner. A little bit of sloppy play here in the last minute or so. Here's a sloppy turnover as Freeborn trying to make the Rockers pay. Turn it back on, and Scott got it with the pad, and he gathers it in for a whistle. 14-14 to go, opening period here in Fraser. It's a 1-1 game. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Back here in Fraser, 1-1 our score, 14-14 to go in the opening period. Larry Vartiainen and Declan Conway, the goal scorers for their clubs so far in this one. Shots on goal in the early going, 6 for the Prowlers and 4 for the Rockers. Offensive zone faceoff coming for Port Huron. They send out the Graham line, who will face off against Roman Gaudette's line. That's centered by Brad Ryder. And also includes Everett Thompson. Ian White sends it over. Comes right back to White. Former NHL veteran lifted off the glass all the way down. Icing is called, so the faceoff will go right back towards Blake Scott's territory. So Graham and Ryder get set for the face-off circle again. Tied up there, it's eventually poked back towards Suffredini. Dante Suffredini turning away from Jay. Schumacher gets it back deep. Backhanded off the glass and out. Freeborn chases after it. That comes right back to Liam Freeborn. And out to Gino Mini. Thompson towards Suffredini. And now Gaudette at center. Curls up ice. Here's Gaudette trying to split the D. And the Prowler's able to keep it off his stick. Now 2-on-1 developing. Jay has Foley with him. Jay over to Foley. And he just couldn't direct it on net. Suffredini, his saucer pass out of Ryder's reach. Mini tried a cross-corner dump, glove down by Dante Suffredini. 13 minutes to go in the first period. It comes over towards Suffredini. Feeds it out. Here's Perks. Perks with a step and a good poke by Larry Vartiainen to disrupt that play. Puck there at the side of the cage, and Hofflin able to cover up with 12:41 to go in the first period. Boy, Larry Vartiainen saving a serious scoring chance there for Tim Perks, who did have a goal in the Rockers' victory back on December the 30th at McMorran Place. Ryan Rotundi with a wrist shot, got through. It was patted away by Hofflin. Ryan McLean in there for the Prowlers. Perks comes out with a backdoor pass. Hofflin got all the way over to make the save on Jonathan Giuliano. Perks down low, deflected, they score. Giuliano with a perfect deflection to the top corner, and Motor City has a 2-1 lead. Well, puck retrieval is so important in this game, and that's exactly what Motor City was able to do that entire shift in the Prowlers zone. Prowlers looked like they had a chance or two to get it out, but instead, the long shot from Perks. That was more of a shot pass straight to Giuliano, who was able to tip it home. He was all by himself in front of the net. Now Vaughn Clouston couldn't get it out. Chartrand kept it in. Sends it over to the near side corner. Chartrand steps in front of Conway, put it on. Scott got the stick on it. Now Lambden out. Cade Lambden into the Prowlers zone, all the way across. Couldn't find Conway. And now Merritt. Here's Sam Merritt into the zone. He dumps it in, Chartrand after it. Now it's backhanded off the glass and out towards Schumacher. Frank Schumacher puts it right back into Motor City ice. 11:23 to go in the opening period. Gaudette taken off his stick by Minnie. And now Graham tried to drop it off for Dalton J. That didn't work. Thompson couldn't get it through Schumacher. Schumacher back up towards Freeborn. Puck still being battled for there at the red line. Finally, Everett Thompson just whacks it in. Graham trying to get it out here. Thompson puts it right back into Prowler territory with 10:45 to go in the first period. Jay up to Graham. Graham into the zone, fumbled with it a little bit. And Tim Perks looks to turn the other way. Gaudette, excuse me. Now to Cardinal. Cardinal poked off his stick by Minnie as he was trying to step past Gino Minnie. Now Schumacher up to Freeborn. Freeborn missed everybody with that, but it's as effective as a dump. Comes to Jay, turns it on net, just skitters wide. Alex Johnson in deep to collect that puck. Able to be flipped out by Motor City. Hainsel first on and in his own zone. Fanned on the first opportunity, but he's able to get it up to Liam Freeborn. Now Johnson. Nice move at center, into the zone. Drops it to Jay. Trying to put it on net. Oh, that's Foley, excuse me. Foley just put it wide. Now Conway couldn't get through center. Vartiainen, one-time pass up to Gagnon. Here's Sam Gagnon, hassled by Suffredini from behind. He just puts it wide. Schumacher, one-timer, hit off of Suffredini and bounced to the opposite side. Schumacher gets it down at the point, put it back on. That was deflected wide. And the Rockers able to get it back to center. Good pressure from the Prowlers over the last couple of minutes, looking for the tying goal. Perks trying to turn it the other way. Tim Perks retreats, and he gives over to Suffredini. Hofflin plays it below the goal line. And it's worked up towards Chartrand. Dan Chartrand on a rush. Chartrand to the middle. Merritt had it just roll off his stick as he went to the backhand. Great pass from Dan Chartrand. Sam Merritt was coming right down Main Street, but the puck just didn't agree with him. Now Federley trying to split everybody. It's poked off his stick. Chartrand back on net. That was cut off. Hainsel steps in, put it on. Now Federley to the backhand. He scores! Beautiful toe drag to the backhand. Austin Federley knots it up at 2. Puck's on net, good things will happen. Adam Hainsel got it on goal, and Austin Federley found the rebound. And a nice toe drag around a diving Blake Scott. He pots it for his 6th goal of the season and his 54th in his FPHL career. So it's a 2-2 game, 8:28 to go in the first period. An entertaining one so far. Fed all the way across. Johnson gets it there. Sends Graham into the zone. Graham over to Freeborn. Pass was behind him. Now here's Elias Thompson. Couldn't handle that puck cleanly. He dumps it down. And icing is called as Adam Hainsel won that race ahead of Brad Ryder. So they'll take a timeout on the ice. We'll keep you right here with 8:07 to go in the first period. as we take a look at the Battle of I-94 so far this season, as we are halfway through the 16-game regular season series between these two teams. That's right, 16 of the 56 games that these two teams each play are against each other. And only 45 minutes away are these two teams. Motor City has won 5 of the 8 so far, but two teams very tight as far as goals scored in those games, and the Prowlers have picked up 10 points to the Rockers 14. So Prowlers did steal 1 point in a loss. That was an overtime loss here at Big Boy Arena. And the Prowlers are also getting the better of the Rockers as far as the standings go. Prowlers second in the Continental Division, while the Rockers sit in fourth. 8:07 to go, first period. It's a 2-2 score between the Motor City Rockers and the Port Huron Prowlers. It's been an entertaining one so far. Prowlers got the first one, Rockers the next two, and then the most recent goal, Austin Federley, tied it up just seconds ago in terms of game time. As it's rimmed around, comes all the way back towards Prowler ice. It's where Dalton J collects. Now Freeborn to Johnson, looking for Jay, cutting down the middle. That was taken away and sent back out to center. Hainzel up to Johnson. Now Graham into the zone, but Dalton J just a step offside. 7:38 to go in the first period of a tied game between the Prowlers and the Motor City Rockers. Foley line steps out. Once again, Joe Devaney still not back yet. Still on that list of Prowlers players who are missing games, along with Vinny DeCumbis and Brian Parsons, Joe Noonan as well. But Prowlers did get 2 guys back who didn't play in Binghamton. Sam Williams and Sam Merritt are in the lineup tonight. As one-handed, Giuliano backhand, big save by Hofflin. The rebound poked out of the crease by one of the 3 Prowlers who was down there. Sharp angle shot stopped by Hofflin. The rebound popped out to the slot. Schumacher able to move it up ice, and we'll see if this is a delay of game penalties. The puck did go over the glass. The Rockers wanted one, but I don't think the referees are going to give it to them. 7:02 to go in the first period, and some dangerous moments there for the Prowlers defensively, now being outshot by Motor City 11-8. Sam Merritt wins the face-off cleanly from Scott Koash. Chartrand chops it further. He hit a linesman. I think that puck may have gone for icing if that didn't hit the linesman. So a bit of a lucky break for the Prowlers. Colton gives it back to Nick McGill-Diaz. All the way up, Conway took a hit from Henning at center. Now it's dumped in. Hofflin almost gave it away. Popped out towards the front of the net and rescued by Henning. Federley looking for Chartrand, diving play by Conway. Kept Dan Chartrand from getting a breakaway. That's how he scored the game winner against Binghamton last Saturday. That was a breakaway goal, although that one was shorthanded and not even strength. As we are right now, here's Jay into the zone. Jay steps around McGill-Diaz to the backhand. Just couldn't put it on net. And it's rimmed all the way back towards Gino Mini, fresh off the bench. Gaudette back the other way. So we approach 6 minutes to go in the opening period. Rockers changing. So Roman Gaudette, a one-man show right now. It's poked out of the zone by Freeborn. All the way back to Rocker territory where Dante Suffredini collects. Up to Ryder. It's dumped in. It's Thompson with it. Everett Thompson sent it in front. Poked away by Minnie. Then that rolling puck was slapped on goal by Suffredini. That whistle is because the net has come off of its moorings, as Suffredini did miss it with 5:32 to go in this first period. A 2-2 game so far between the Prowlers and the Rockers. And Port Huron will have to defend a face-off to Wyatt Hofflin's left. Jonathan Giuliano's line coming out against Matt Graham's. Giuliano, the most recent Rockers goal scorer. He gave Motor City a 2-1 lead that was short-lived. As it came back on net, and Hofflin with a good save, and he'll hang on. 5:19 to go now in the period as the Prowlers change the defense pairing. Johnson and Hainsel, the D-men out there now for Port Huron. As Graham and Giuliano get set for another face-off, Matt Graham wins it cleanly. Hainsel around his own net. Adam Hainsel with speed. Here he comes. Hainsel couldn't get the shot off. Good back check from Perks. Graham out-muscles White for the puck. Gives it to Freeborn. Jay tried to kick it up to his stick. Couldn't do it. Now Suffredini trying to step out. Here's Dante Suffredini. Gets through a few Prowlers. Suffredini drops it off to Perks. Takes the shot. Eaten up by the stick of Alex Johnson. And out of play. 4:44 to go in the opening period. We are tied at 2 in Fraser. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here at Big Boy Arena, 2-2 our score, 4:44 to go in the opening period as the Prowlers and the Rockers battling for the 9th time this season. Will Wiggleman with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us. If you missed our pregame show, we have achieved 1,000 subscribers here on the Prowlers YouTube channel. So thank you all so much for your support this season, and we hope to continue to create great content for you. Not just in games, but also highlight reels and other fun stuff that we have planned for the rest of the year. Hainsel chips it out. McLean gets it by his man. Rotundi able to recollect at center. Here's Conway. Foley at the red line. Plays it off the near side boards. Vartiainen into the zone. Larry stood up at the line. Conway forced to retreat. Almost taken away there by Foley. Rotundi all the way up towards Conway. Drops it off. Quick shot blocked on the way through. Then Conway tried from a sharp angle. Ends up coming all the way around towards Rotundi. His shot deflected wide. Puck still back there. Clouston played it off the backboards. Comes right back to Vaughn Clouston. Vartiainen able to get it out to center. 3:45 to go, first period. As Rotundi dumps it in right on Hofflin. Gets down to make the save. And Johnson curls up ice. Alex Johnson to Federley. Austin Federley with a step. He shoots. He scores! Second of the game for Austin Federley. He gives the Prowlers a 3-2 lead with 3.5 to go in the opening period. All of the Rockers got caught on the far side of the ice, and Austin Federley had all the time and space he wanted on the near side boards. A great pass from Alex Johnson. And the Prowlers now have their second lead of the game at now 3-2 with 3.5 to go in the first. Seventh of the season for Austin Federley as the Prowlers create a turnover at the blue line. Here's Merritt trying to put it in front, but plenty of black jerseys back. It's dumped in all the way around. Comes out to the point to McGill Diaz. He puts it on, and a save by Hofflin on that deflected shot, coming all the way out to the top of his crease to make the save. Under 3 to play, first period. Prowlers with a 3-2 lead, what's been a back and forth frame. Shots on goal right now, says 14-9 for the Motor City Rockers. As Colton tried to put it on. Schumacher puts it around. Here's Jay looking for Freeborn. He's got him. Freeborn put it all the way across towards Graham. Too many Rockers in the way of that. It was Perks that cut it off. Goes off the glass all the way down, and icing is called. So Graham gets set for an offensive zone faceoff. I'm being told that Wyatt Hofflin got an assist on that Federley goal. So the rare but fun goalie assist plays into the first period scoring tonight. As Johnson puts it back into the zone. Giuliano all the way across. Graham gets it down low. Jay couldn't chop it on. Now put back on. Saved by Scott. Graham trying to get that rebound. It just bounced away from him. 2 minutes to go in the first period. As the Rockers able to start a breakout. Chip to Port Huron ice where Alex Johnson curls back this way. Freeborn trying to pick up the puck in front of the bench. Now it's moved up. Freeborn wearing a full bubble right now, full fishbowl, because he took that high stick from, pretty violent high stick from MJ Merkel against Binghamton in the last game. So he had to get some stitches. Now Suffredini puts it on a sharp angle shot, blocked by Gagnon. And Prowlers come out. Minnie leading the rush. Gino Minnie, defenseman, dropped it off for Vartiainen and then put a hit on White. Merritt tried to put it on net. A little friendly fire there as that hit Vartiainen, and then Larry Vartiainen able to block a headman feed that would have sent a Rocker on the breakaway. Comes down to Merritt. Quick shot, saved by Scott. At the side of the net, the puck just squirted right to Sam Merritt. Haynes winds and fires. Merritt tried to tip that one out of the air. That couldn't do it. 41 seconds to go in the opening period as Everett Thompson puts it right in on Hofflin. Hofflin goes off the glass and out. Here's Clouston to Rotundi. Back to Clouston, 25 to go in the period as Minnie puts it back towards Rocker ice. Rotundi gets the red line, cross corner dump. Minnie gets there ahead of Brad Ryder. Gaudette able to steal it in the corner. Gaudette couldn't put it out in front as a good stick from Hofflin as it's sent all the way down on Blake Scott. Final 3 seconds, tick off the clock, and that's going to do it for the opening period here in Fraser, with the Prowlers holding a 3-2 lead on the Motor City Rockers through 20 minutes of play. Shots on goal in that opening period, 15 for the Prowlers, or 15 for the Rockers, excuse me, and 11 for the Port Huron Prowlers. But 2 goals from Austin Federley has Port Huron on top as teams head to the locker rooms for the first intermission at Big Boy Arena. Well, new year, new gear. Get your updated look At the Port Huron Prowlers team store, located on the west end of McMorran Arena, the store is open every home game, all season long, featuring t-shirts, sweatshirts, including glitter crew necks, koozies, socks, and more. Rep your team in style with gear from the Prowlers team store. 3-2 our scores. We hit the first intermission here in Fraser. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Back here at Big Boy Arena, 3-2 our score as we're in the first intermission between the Port Huron Prowlers and the Motor City Rockers. Will Wiggleman with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Before we get to our game, let's take a look around the FPHL where every team is in action tonight. And we start in Watertown where the Binghamton Black Bears, Prowlers saw last weekend, can put up goals in bunches, and they've done just that. 4-0, the Black Bears lead the Watertown Wolves through 20 minutes of play. The Elmira Mammoth and the Delaware Thunder are knotted at none early on in the second period in Delaware. Carolina Thunderbirds with a 3-0 lead on the Columbus River Dragons in Carolina. This looked like it was going to be one of the big series of the weekend. And the Thunderbirds are off to a great start. Brendan Colgan, who shut out the Rockers in both games last weekend, has given up 3 goals on 12 shots. Finally, the Danbury Hat-Tricks and the Mississippi Seawolves are about midway through the opening period. No score yet down in Biloxi. Of course, here it is 3-2 Prowlers as we get set for the second period of action. Well, the first period was a good one. If you're just a fan of hockey watching this game, as you got plenty of goals, plenty of good scoring chances between these two teams. Larry Vartianen got the scoring started just over a minute into the game. They're giving the assist currently to Dustin Henning, but it should be assisted by Evan Foley, that first goal, because he was the one that won the faceoff right back to Vartianen, who backhanded it past Blake Scott. Meanwhile, after a couple minutes after that, Declan Conway able to tie it up on a rush. Jonathan Giuliano with a textbook deflection beat Wyatt Hoffman. That gave Motor City its first lead of the night. And that was a 2-1 game. But then Austin Federley struck. He got his first goal on a rebound, little toe drag past a diving Blake Scott. That tied things up at 2 apiece. And then later in the period, Alex Johnson found him for a good rush up the right wing boards. And Federley able to beat Scott on that rush. And that made it a 3-2 Prowlers lead late in that period. 2 goals for Austin Federley. An assist goes to Wyatt Hoffman on that last goal by Federley. So the first assist for a goal by a goaltender for the Prowlers this season belongs to Wyatt Hoffman. I have a new cameraman in the booth with me now for this second period of play. Joe Devaney, who, if you remember, famously pulled off that backhanded Michigan last time we were in this building. That I wish we could have seen better, but you know, we've got the camera working a little bit better tonight. Unfortunately, he is out of the lineup tonight, as we mentioned, part of that list of players the Prowlers are missing. Well, just about set for second period action as the Prowlers still holding on to that one goal lead. Shots on goal favoring the Motor City Rockers in that first period, 15-11. It comes out in front. Now Gaudette tried to put it back on. Graham was sliding there, it may have hit him. Rockers step back in. Fed down low towards Conway. It comes right to Hoffman, and he'll cover up for a whistle. Just 27 seconds into period number 2. Rockers already with the first opportunity of the second period, causing a little bit of chaos in the Prowlers zone. Scott Kowash and Evan Foley get set for the faceoff. And we'll try it again after the false start. Suffredini winds and fires deflected high. And Heading tried to get it up the boards, put back on from the near side boards, goes wide. Suffredini all the way around, put it out in front. Kowash, good save by Hoffman right on the doorstep. And it's poked away from an oncoming Conway. Put back on net. Hoffman looked like he got a piece of it on the way through. Gagnon came in to disrupt. It comes all the way around behind the net. Larry Vartiainen on the near side boards. Couple of players looking for that puck. It's lifted high and out. Back to Rocker territory. Just past a minute into period number 2 as Cade Lambden chipped it out to center. Quickly up to Chartrand. He has the red line, dumps it in right on Scott. He'll drop it for Ryan Rotundi. Rotundi out to center. Misses everybody. Ryder and Williams chasing after it, but the icing is called as Sam Williams wins that race. 18:26 to go here in the second period. So the Merritt line out there now for the Prowlers for this offensive zone face-off. It looks like we have a new face-off man taking the draw. Actually, they're going to switch it back. Everett Thompson originally switched with Brad Ryder to come in, but now Ryder back taking the face-off. It's tied up there. Chartrand put it on net. And it's steered away by the stick of Blake Scott. Good forecheck there by Federley, who has 2 in the game already. Plenty of time to get the Prowlers' first hat trick of the season. Comes out to center. Sam Williams on it. Now Suffredini taken away by Merritt. Chartrand with a sharp angle shot. Scott wanted to cover it up. Instead, it was cleared away by his defenseman, Rotundi. There's Merritt. Crosses the red line. Sauces it up to Gino Mini stepping in. Mini tried to feed it out in front. That hit a stick. Popped up towards Cade Lambden. Prowler's able to keep it in, though, as Dalton J whips it around and Suffredini cuts it off. Glove down by Johnson at center. Johnson took a big hit from Lambden. So he had his eyes on that puck. Comes in Graham with Jay. Feeds it all the way across towards Johnson. Back in front. Now Haynes will put it on, and that one chipped wide. Scott was down and out. Now he's back in position, back with his stick. As Graham put it in front. Good kick save from Scott. And the clearing attempt goes off of Freeborn's skate and out of play on the near side. Great pressure from the Prowlers, but they're unable to get it through and extend this lead to 2. 17:07 to go in this second period. Adam Hainsel had a good opportunity there, but it was a rolling, bouncing puck, and he wasn't able to get it on net. Searching for his 4th goal of the year. He's gone 10 games without one, as Adam Hainsel. Stretch pass just out of the reach of its intended target, so Hofflin will keep it away from Giuliano. Jay leaves it for Alex Johnson. He backhands it out. Colton in his own end. Chased down by Jay. Miguel Diaz quickly around. Comes out to Perks. 3-on-3 rushes. Perks tried to put it in front. It came up right on Hofflin. He's able to knock it down. The Prowlers clear it back out. Freeborn into the zone. Nice move to the backhand. Liam Freeborn drops it off to Henning. Plenty of time and space. Wrists it on. That one's stopped by Scott with traffic in front. Gaudette towards Perks. Ends up becoming a dump-in. Hofflin able to keep it away from Tim Perks. As Henning goes off the boards and out. 2-on-2 rush. Freeborn in there with McLean. Freeborn shot steered away by Scott. Henning rims it in. Scott able to drop it off. Vartiainen chasing for it. Instead it rimmed around towards Gaudette. Henning able to stop it up at the red line. One hands it further for Foley, and he gets it deep. Vartiainen took it away from Von Clausen. put it towards the slot, came all the way through for Minnie, and a rising shot missed high and wide. Martiano with a quick shot, and a good glove save from Blake Scott, and he will hold on with 15:25 to go in the second period, and Prowlers still holding that 3-2 lead. Merritt line against the Ryder line now for this offensive zone draw for the Prowlers. Comes out towards Lambden, poked off his stick by Minnie. Gino Minnie turned it right back over as Thompson came back to take the puck away. Quick shot, stopped by Hoffman. The rebound sat there, and he's able to get his glove over top for a whistle with 15:05 to go in this second period. Shots on goal in this period so far, 5 apiece between the Prowlers and the Rockers. Motor City still leading the game's shots on goal, 20-16 now. As Ryder and Merritt get set for the face-off. Here's Ryder on the wall, up to Everett Thompson. Sent it around. Minnie out to Federley. Over to Sam Williams, jumping into the play. Comes to Chartrand. He sends it all the way across off the far side boards. Now Minnie wrists it on net, blocked by Lambden. Plenty of Prowlers back. It's a 2-on-4 rush, and now Dan Chartrand coming back. Rockers in the midst of a change. And Sam Williams steps behind his own net and looks up. Launches it all the way up ice to Chartrand, drops it back to Merritt. Sam Merritt, nice move between his own legs, put it back out in front to Chartrand, and a good save by Scott. And now it looks like Dan Chartrand will be heading to the box. 2 minutes for hooking, and the Prowlers will go to the penalty kill. It's our first penalty of the game, and we'll get it for you when we come back. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Prowlers heading to the penalty kill here with 14:15 to go in the second period at Big Boy Arena, but they still have a 3-2 lead. Motor City sending out the second best power play in the FPHL at 23.1%, while the Prowlers PK sits ninth at 79.5% this season. Chance for the Rockers to get back in this game and tie it up. They start with the face-off win, but White put it right on Jay's stick. Luckily for the Rockers, they get it right back. It's backhanded towards the near side corner. Conway there to collect. White feeds it over to Suffredini. White to Koash. Wrists it on, saved by Hoffman. The rebound was there, and Minnie able to wrestle it away from Cade Lambden and clear it all the way down. 30 seconds gone on the penalty to Dan Chartrand. As White moves up ice to Koash, taken away by Graham at center. Here's Matt Graham dropping it off for Jay. He shoots, and a glove save. And they'll hold on as Blake Scott gets a whistle with 13:32 to go in the second period. Minute 18 left on the penalty to Chartrand as Foley and Federley get back out there. Their first time killing tonight. Federley to the point, and Henning will back up to center, waste a little bit of time and dump it in. Miguel Diaz drops it off to Colton. Josh Colton rimmed it around. Hofflin got a piece of it. Colton able to get it in the corner. Moves it over to the near side, Thompson. Back behind the net again. Goes to Ryder, up top Colton. D to Miguel Diaz. Miguel Diaz up to Colton at center point. Settles it down, gives to Ryder. Now it's down low behind the net. Pass comes over to the near side, Gaudette. Up top, Colton shoots, and he missed everything as Hofflin slid out to try and make that save. He's back in position now as Miguel Diaz able to just keep it in at the line. 15 seconds to go on the penalty to Chartrand. Poked away from Federley. Colton down low to Gaudette. That pass was just a bit held up by a good stick. Miguel Diaz able to kick it in at the point to keep it alive. We're back to 5-on-5. It was put out in front. Now a sharp angle try, just caught the glass. And they will blow it dead with the net coming off behind Wyatt Hofflin. But the Prowlers are through the penalty kill. Still with the lead, 12-11 to go in the second period. Couple of good saves from Wyatt Hofflin, especially in the back half of that power play. Plenty of pressure from Motor City. As Chartrand sneaks in, he's split out wide on the near side. Now he'll slide back in closer to the face-off. Williams moving up ice. That puck is rolling as Sam Williams enters the zone. Gets it in the corner. Williams cycles it down to Chartrand, around to Merritt. To the top, Minnie. Across to McLean, winds and fires. That one's blocked. And Cardinal able to glove it down. Gives it over to Rotundi, who blocked that shot. Von Clausen took a spill away from the puck. Perks has it back for Motor City. Off the boards and out. Here's Johnson. Couldn't poke it further. Jonathan Giuliano resets to his defenseman. Gino Mini chases it with 11:20 to go in this second period. Rockers have it back in Port Huron territory, but Wyatt Hofflin able to easily handle that shot from the boards from Declan Conway. Level face-off to Hofflin's left, deep in Prowler territory. So the Coash line and the Graham line matched up as they've been a few times so far tonight. Comes to the slot, Coash sliding, blocked by Johnson. Coash got the rebound, and Hofflin shut him down. Alex Johnson with a great sliding block on the first chance, and then Wyatt Hofflin stayed right with Coash as he tried to make a move to the backhand. More dangerous moments for the Prowlers. It all started on a face-off win by Motor City. We're in the opposite face-off dot, so we'll see if the Prowlers can get one here. Instead, Coash does win it back again. But Graham able to take away a dump from Suffredini. Here's Jay. Sharp angle try, stopped by Scott. Comes over to the near side. Hainsel put it on. Couldn't get through all the bodies. And on net, here's Johnson, turns it around. And that one hit a couple of players on the way through. Comes out in front, couldn't find Jay. Now Conway to Coash. Coash into the zone, pulls up, and he put it on net, deflected just wide, and now comes all the way back out. White had pinched in deep, so it came out past where he was. Now it's dumped back in. Hofflin rims it around towards Freeborn. Freeborn sends Graham on his way. Graham looking for Jay. White able to poke that back the other direction. Johnson, long pass up towards Freeborn. And Freeborn with some good hustle, able to negate the icing. Past the halfway point of the middle period. Prowlers still with that 3-2 lead that they brought into this second period. That pass went off the side of the cage as there was a streaking rocker looking for that puck. Comes out to center. Miguel Diaz gloves it down, sends it to Reiter. Reiter back to Suffredini as the Rockers regroup. The pass taken away, Vartiainen to Gagnon. Here's Sam Gagnon, he whiffed on it, and he's almost got a backhand try, but Blake Scott shuts him down. 9:24 to go in the second period, and the Prowlers almost with a golden opportunity to extend the lead. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Three-two Prowlers, 9:24 to go in the second period. Though they had a great opportunity just before the TV timeout to extend the lead. Sam Gagnon streaking down the right wing side, but he fanned on the shot, and Blake Scott was able to cover up for a face-off deep in Rocker territory. That line stays out there for the Prowlers. They'll go up against the Reiter line. As Evan Foley slides in for the faceoff, but Brad Reiter able to win it back. It's chopped further, but Foley gets there first for Fort Huron. Colton over to McGill Diaz, drops back for Josh Colton. Right back up, here's Reiter into the zone, taken away neatly by Schumacher, right on the stick of Gagnon. 3-on-2 for the Prowlers if they hurry, but Vartiainen had to slow up under pressure from Colton. And now it's taken away by the Rockers. They try a counterattack. Good play there at the line. Gagnon poked off his stick by McGill Diaz. Now Vartiainen with a quick shot. Good save by Scott. Williams keeps it in at the line. Over to Minnie. Put it on, and Scott able to clutch it to his chest and hang on for a whistle with 8:33 to go in the second period. Prowlers getting some good pressure here over the last couple of minutes and able to keep the Rockers out of their own end. Nice play there at the blue line just a minute or so ago. That turned the puck the other way. The Prowlers really able to wall off their blue line. Just on that rush. Rockers will look for another opportunity as Perks drops it off. Good forecheck by Merritt, but Chartrand couldn't get to the puck before Scott did. And the Rockers goaltender will cover up for a whistle. And another face-off to his left. Perks and Merritt on the draw again. Perks able to win this one back once more. Colton got it up to Perks, but his pass back to Colton was behind Josh Colton. Kept in by Federley. Nice move around one Rocker, nice move around another. Federley in front looking for Merritt. Perks got a stick on that one, and the puck flies out of play. A couple of nice moves from Austin Federley, catching a couple of Rockers without their feet moving. Offensive zone faceoff coming for the Prowlers with 8:01 to go in the second period. And once again, it is the Graham line and the Coash line. As Graham gets it back to Johnson at the point, but it's poked away from him by Gaudette. Gaudette 2-on-1 with Conway. His saucer pass had a bit too much sauce on it, and Conway goes diving into the post. So the Prowlers catch a break there, and along with the whistle, The puck will come outside of the Port Huron end. The long reach of Roman Gaudet, just able to chip that puck past Alex Johnson. Adam Hainsel was stuck on the 2-on-1, but luckily for the Prowlers, just too much sauce from Roman Gaudet on that pass towards Declan Conway. Face-off one back towards Clouston. Clouston flips it towards the Prowlers' blue line, knocked down by Johnson. Freeborn able to get it into the zone. Rotundi puts it right back out. Here's Johnson again on the regroup. Deflected in by Freeborn. Here's Rotundi, rims it around in Jay's direction. Gets through Dalton Jay, battle for at the line, and now Koash into the zone. Got Koash, lost the handle. Jay off the boards to Graham the other way. Here's Matt Graham, backhanding it down deep. That was blocked by Suffredini. And now it's below the Rockers goal line with 7:03 to go in the second period as Suffredini plays it forward. Heading, thought about the rim all the way around, instead he plays it to the near side. Battle for on the near side boards as Conway had his shot blocked, comes to Suffredini, and he just couldn't find anything on that shot. Puck battle for in the corner, two-a-side scrum as Vartiainen gets it out. On the rush with McLean, who's taken away by White at the line. Everett Thompson heading towards the net, but the Rockers unable to get it there. Here's Vartiainen. Stops up, dumps it in. Prowlers making a change. They got through Lambden. Gino Mini trying to split a couple of Rockers there. Instead, it's taken away by Ryder. 6 minutes to go in the period. As it's held behind the Motor City net. Now up to Lambden. Deflected by Federley. And the puck is dumped deep. And now Federley lifts it high and in. Chartrand going for it. Put it out in front. Mini to Williams. Got that puck through some traffic and a good kick save from Scott. Merritt dumps it in. Chartrand heading after it, but Suffredini gets to that puck, moves it to White. Sent down low. Johnson able to take it away. Now up to Graham. Matt Graham with speed through the neutral zone. Here's Graham into the zone. Took that shot, was blocked by Perks, comes right back to Graham. And now the puck down below the goal line. Freeborn taken down, no call. As Haynes will put it on. Good deflection by Graham and a better save from Blake Scott. Puck popped out towards the middle of the ice. Rockers able to continue to move it forward. Hofflin up to Graham. Looking for Johnson, and now it's one touched on to Freeborn. Freeborn ridden off by Gaudet. 3 Rockers there surrounding Liam Freeborn, now 4. And Motor City predictably able to get the puck with the better numbers. Conway, little spinorama backhand shot. And it looked like Hofflin was able to get a piece of it. Prowlers the other way. Jay just puts it off the near side boards. Foley in on it. Poke down towards Foley. Out to the slot. Gagnon fresh off the bench. Now Foley taken into the wall by Colton. And now a good shot by Gagnon. And Scott able to hug the post. 4 minutes to go, second period. Hofflin rims it around. Took a funny hop off of one of the stanchions in the corner over there. Schumacher able to recover for the Prowlers. Vartianen's pass to Gagnon out of his reach. Icing waved off as McGill Diaz rims it around the boards. Here's Vartianen. Shoots. Saved by Scott, and it knocked his bucket off. And that will stop play. 3:35 to go in the second period. No goals yet in this middle frame. Prowlers still lead by 1. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
Back here at Big Boy Arena, 3:35 to go. Second period, Prowlers with a 3-2 lead over the Motor City Rockers. Well, we had 5 goals in the opening period, but now here we are, just over 16 minutes gone in this second frame, and we have yet to find one. Prowlers up on shots in this period, 16-8. Merritt line out there for the offensive zone faceoff. Up against Everett Thompson's line. It's one right back to Schumacher. Drop to Federle, shoots! That hits Chartrand on the way through. A well-worked faceoff play from the Prowlers. Unfortunately, friendly fire there, as that shot couldn't get all the way to the net. Clouston rims it all the way around, out of Henning's reach. So icing is going to be called against the Motor City Rockers with 3:11 to go in the second. And play will come all the way back down. Prowlers just changing up the defense pair ahead of this face-off. Williams and Minnie now out there. It's one back to Sam Williams. He put it on. It's kicked away by Rotundi before it ever got to Blake Scott. Here's Thompson. Moving up ice is Ryder. Taken away by Minnie in his own end. Here's Merritt. Creating some time. Gives it to Chartrand down the boards. Dan Chartrand all the way out high. Minnie wrists it on. That one sticked aside by Scott and out of play on the near side. 2:40 to go, second period in a 3-2 game, as the Graham line now gets an opportunity to get an offensive zone face-off. Go up against the Giuliano line for Motor City. Face-off got through Minnie at the point. There's Perks. Taken away from him by Gino Minnie. Tim Perks relentless on the forecheck, and they blew a tire as Minnie turned the corner. Freeborn in the corner. Takes a hit from Clouston as he rims it around to the near side. Graham had it taken off his stick. Cardinal up ice. Giuliano tried the return feed. Johnson able to knock it down. Jay dropped to Graham. Another drop pass to Johnson, and a good shot block there by Cardinal. Hainzel racing for it. He gets there, he's able to keep it away from the oncoming Tommy Cardinal. Prowlers get plenty of time to come back as the Rockers were in a delayed offside situation. Jay gave it away as he entered the zone to Conway. Now the Rockers trying to move back up ice. Prowlers on the forecheck. Foley took it away momentarily before he's knocked down by Gaudette. And it's rimmed all the way back to center. 90 seconds to go in the second period. Gaudette stepped in front of Gagnon, but then fanned on the pass. Here's Sam Gagnon the other way. 1-on-3. Gagnon takes the shot. He hit the outside of the net. And Conway moves it up to Gaudette. His pass up to Perks was impeded, and a good poke check by Frank Schumacher to make sure Tim Perks didn't have an in-tight opportunity. They're digging away there in the near side corner. Worked up to the point. White keeps it going on the near side. Now here's Frank Schumacher. So we're under a minute to go in the second period. Schumacher trying to put it back at center. Delayed offsides on as the Rockers touch up. 40 seconds to go in the period. Henning had it taken away and sent back the other direction. Vartiainen turned it over to Landon, and Larry takes it right back. Here's Vartiainen all by himself. He lost the handle, and Koash just dumps it back out. Henning dumps it in with 20 seconds to go in the middle period. White feeds it over to Suffredini. Suffredini with 10. Dante Suffredini tried to feather it towards the middle. Koash had a whack at it, but that puck was bouncing. He couldn't direct it on net. And Hofflin with a last-second save to beat the buzzer. Well, we end the second period as we ended the first with a 3-2 Prowlers lead, as both goaltenders were perfect in that middle frame. Shots on goal in that middle period, 18 for Port Huron, 9 for Motor City. And once again, it remains a 3-2 Prowlers lead as we head to the locker room for the second time tonight. Well, secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game as they take on the Motor City Rockers tomorrow, with puck drop at McMorran Place scheduled for 6:05 p.m. It's also a Casey's Kids Zone night, and fans can skate with the team after the game. Tickets are available online at phprowlers.com/tickets or by calling the box office at 810-985-6166. That's online at phprowlers.com/tickets or by phone at 810-985-6166. Prowlers still up by 1 as we hit the second intermission here in Fraser. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Fans are enjoying the live music here at Big Boy Arena as we get set for the start of the third period of play between the Prowlers and the Motor City Rockers. Will Wiggleman with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. As you have, whether this is your first time at the Prowlers YouTube channel or you've been here for every single game, we appreciate your viewership this season. Well, a much quieter second period than the first. Dan Chartrand's penalty, the only thing the scorekeeper had to write down in that middle period. Prowlers killed off that penalty, but no goals in that middle frame. The goaltenders were perfect. Blake Scott with 18 saves in that second period, up to 26 on the night on 29 Prowlers shots. Meanwhile, Wyatt Hofflin made all 9 saves he had to in that middle frame. He's up to 22 stops on 24 shots against. Austin Federley still sitting on 2 goals so far tonight. Meanwhile, Wyatt Hoffley, he's doing it all tonight, 22 saves. He has an assist on Federley's second of the night. Larry Vartiainen has the other goal for the Prowlers. Alex Johnson, Adam Heinzel, Sam Merritt, and Evan Foley with an assist apiece. Meanwhile, for Motor City through 2 periods of play, Cade Lambden, a couple of helpers. Tim Perks has an assist, Declan Conway, Jonathan Giuliano with goals, and Scott Koash with an assist of his own. And that's where we stand, just about 90 seconds away from puck drop for the third period as both teams step out onto the ice to prepare for third period action. Prowlers and the Rockers. Once again, this is the 9th meeting of the season between the Port Huron Prowlers and the Motor City Rockers. And it's been it was a great and entertaining first period. A little bit more of a goaltending battle in that second. Both goaltenders coming up with some big saves. And the Prowlers still hanging on to that 1-goal lead. They'll look to take it all the way through. Just 20 minutes left to go in this one. Of course, tomorrow these two teams will battle again. This time it will be at McMorran Place, one of the home-and-homes that the Prowlers and the Rockers have. That's what they'll do for the rest of the season. A few home-and-home series between these two teams as we get set for the third period of play, and we're underway. It's worked into the Prowlers zone. Hofflin rims it around. Koash takes it there. Heinzel working up. And it comes to Dalton Jay. One-on-one with Suffredini. Jay cuts to the middle. Couldn't get the shot off. He gets it in the corner. Suffredini with it behind the net. Worked all the way out. Gaudette skates into it. He heads into Prowler territory. Put it in front. And Hofflin able to get enough of that. As Suffredini tries to put it back to Prowler ice. He does. Goes all the way down. Hofflin took a spill as he was coming out to play that puck, which was all right because there was no pressure as the Rockers were making a change. Gagnon backhands it deep. And now Thompson. Everett Thompson. Couldn't get through Vartiainen at center. Here's Gagnon into the zone. Drops off Vartiainen with a shot. He scores! Bardowski, Larry Vartiainen, his second of the night, and the Prowlers have a 2-goal lead. Great pass there from Gagnon, and then Larry Vartiainen with a beautiful, beautiful shot. Beats Blake Scott bar down. Here comes Vartiainen again. But it's poked off his stick, so now Vartiainen and Austin Federley with 2 goals each as the Rockers come back in. Poked out to center. Here's McGill Diaz. Nick McGill Diaz gets it back. And Federley. 2 in the game for him. He tried to drop it off, but Foley was headed to the bench. Schumacher with a good battle to get the puck back, but Williams had it stolen away by Gaudette. To a side scrum on the sideboards, looking for that puck. Comes out to Federley. He plays it off of Colton and to center. Dan Sharktran all by himself. Gets it deep, goes after it. Sends it up towards Federley. Tried to center it, nobody home for the Prowlers. So it's Koash on the left wing side. Kicked away from him by Minnie. Now here's Federley. Austin Federley back in with a good shot. And Scott shoulders it away. Good play by Austin Federley to get that shot through. Here come the Rockers. Nice toe drag from Conway, but he was defended neatly by the Prowlers. Sam Merritt into the zone, but offsides is called as Gino Minnie was just a half step ahead of the play. 17-16 to go in the third period. It's now a 4-2 lead as Larry Vartiainen has that goal. He's the one who picked the corner. He got his second of the night, as it looks like one of the referees just needs to clean off the visor there. That's Jonathan Satarski. The other referee tonight, Kevin Mallon. The linesmen, Mark Jackson and Colin Pons. Suffredini over to White. And it's deflected in. Johnson after it. Keeps it away from Lambden. Thompson had his stick lifted. Graham dropped it off for Freeborn, who moves up the other way. Liam Freeborn into the zone. Couldn't dangle through a few Rockers. Comes back to Johnson. D to Hansel. Winds and fires. And that one caught the glass and comes all the way back out. Hofflin leaves it there for Johnson. 16:42 to go in the third period. Now Jay into zone. Quick shot. And Scott able to clutch that to his chest and hold on. Offensive zone face-off coming for the Prowlers with a 4-2 lead right now on the Motor City Rockers on the strength of Larry Vartiainen's second of the game and his 15th of the season. Henning rims it deep. Foley held up against the boards behind the net. Gagnon in there as well. Here's Sam Gagnon up to Henning at the point. He couldn't control it cleanly. And it bounces back to Prowler ice. Cardinal chasing after it. Schumacher first on the puck. He rims it around the side. Vartiainen chasing after it, but it's going to get to Scott before Larry could get there. So Blake Scott will just put the glove over it. With 16:03 to go in the third period, and it looks like they're going to keep the Rockers from changing, which is what you can do if the goaltender covers a dump in that comes from the opposing team's side of center. So it's like the opposite of an icing, I guess. Same concept, but as Williams with a wrist shot, gloved and held by Scott. A similar concept, but instead of the team that dumped it in being punished because it goes below the goal line, the team that covers the puck and freezes it, we have a linesman down. The team that freezes it is the one that is unable to change on that type of play. But the Rockers were able to change after the quick shot from Williams was gloved and held by Scott. McGill Diaz off the draw, steps behind his own net. Watched by Merritt. He feeds it to Koash on the right wing side. Up to Conway, enters the zone, trying to power move. Williams able to knock the puck off his stick, and it's sent all the way through the slot back to Rocker Ice by Conway, just looking for a teammate in the slot that he couldn't find. Hofflin plays it around, gave it away, and he slides back to Rob Koash. Oh my goodness, that could have been disaster for the Port Huron Prowlers and Wyatt Hofflin, but he was able to slide back and rob Koash, who tried to pull it out and tuck it in that far side. Hofflin just fanned on that puck as he was trying to rim it around, and Scott Koash was right there to take it. No harm, no foul for the Prowlers as they win the defensive zone faceoff. Minnie able to flip it out to center. It's rolling, 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 and it will go for Prowler icing. Only 15:21 to go in this third period. So we'll go back into Prowler territory for this faceoff, as the Merritt line stays out there up against the Ryder line. Merritt trying to push Ryder forward, comes out to Thompson, and his rising shot caught the glass. Chip past White. He just dumps it back in as the Prowlers make a change. Here's Minnie. Up towards Freeborn. Played it off a Rocker at center, but he's able to recover and get it to Williams. Neither team able to get too much possession time right now in the neutral zone, as Adam Hainsel collects in his own end. Hainsel waiting for the play to develop. Steps out to the right side of the net. And now Dalton J. Couldn't recollect that puck. Suffredini tried to dangle his way in. Got the hit from Williams, but the puck stayed in. Kicked off of Graham, and everything the Prowlers could do was chop that away to the sideboards. Here's Dalton J. Couldn't get around Suffredini. Freeborn got there, and a good kick save from Blake Scott on Liam Freeborn, flying in for that loose puck. Giuliano leaves it for Perks. Here's Perks around the cage. Pulls up, tried to put it in front. Hoffling got the stick on it. Here's Johnson. We're just over 6 minutes into period 3 as Alex Johnson comes to Foley. Freeborn tried to rip it out in front. 3-on-2 for the Rockers, and the Prowlers have a forward back defending. It's Foley, but Hainsel able to block that original pass and break up the play. Comes over to Clouston. Challenged by Vartiani, he gave it right away to Evan Foley. And here's Ryan McLean, number 28 for the Prowlers. Dumps it in. Rotundi up the boards. Chopped on further. Schumacher just kept it in there at the line. This time Clouston goes high, and Conway picks it up on the other side. Conway's shot hit a stick on the way through. Goes out of play. We will take a timeout. 13:04 to go, third period. Prowlers up by 2. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Back here in Fraser, 13:04 to go, third period. And the Prowlers with a 4-2 lead on the strength of 2 goals apiece from Larry Vartiainen and Austin Federley. Vartiainen's second coming early in this period, and it gave the Prowlers a little bit of a cushion. After ending the first period with a 3-2 lead, they ended the second period with a 3-2 lead, and finally were able to find another goal in this game, and luckily for the Prowlers, it belonged to them. Federley able to chop it by his man. Here's Chartrand entering the zone. Dan Chartrand stops up, looks for Merritt. He was double teamed. Puck drops below the goal line. Now it's up on the boards. Couple of players on both sides involved in that scrum. Comes to Henning at the point. He just gets it deep. Miguel Diaz first on it. Merritt able to use the boot to keep it in. That pregame soccer paying off. Conway took a hit from Chartrand behind the net. Now here's Declan Conway looking to start a rush. One of the more active rockers tonight is Declan Conway. He has a goal. Miguel Diaz feeds it up. It's blocked by Schumacher at the red line. Now Freeborn into the zone, poked off his stick immediately. And Dalton Jay takes it right back from Cade Landon. Jay thought about the pass to Graham. They didn't seem to be on the same page. Luckily for the Prowlers, sent all the way down, and icing is called against Motor City. 11:56 to go, a third period. And the Prowlers still with that 2-goal lead. And they have an offensive zone face-off, trying to extend it. It's the Thompson line against the Graham line. Scott Kowash, the late addition off the bench. Face-off pops back. Jay just backhands it on net. And it's steered to the corner by Scott. Graham feeds it out in front. Taken away by Thompson. Jay bats it deep. Miguel Diaz trying to get it out. Didn't get all of that flip, but Minnie couldn't dangle around his own teammate Graham. It comes back up to Freeborn. Liam Freeborn has stick lifted by a back-checking Brad Reiter. And Reiter tries to start a breakout. Gives it over to Miguel Diaz. He goes off the boards and out. Sam Williams claps it right back in. Colton behind his own cage as time ticks down, approaching 11 minutes to go in the third period. Little toe drag there. It's turned over at center. Gagnon plays it deep as the Prowlers continue this dump and chase game. At the point, Haynes will put it on, and Foley looked like he got a piece of it. Scott able to make the save. Perks all by himself, so he'll dump it in. Hofflin just leaves it this time for Alex Johnson. And now Hainsel up ice. Short pass to Vartiainen. Now it's worked up towards Foley. Vartiainen trying to knock it down with the glove. He took a big hit into the Rockers bench. Here comes White all the way across towards Perks in the center. Couldn't direct it on net. Now White winds and fires and sent it wide. And Karam's all the way back to center. Suffredini towards Gaudette. Perks couldn't take it into the zone, so Foley just tosses it further. Here's Federley. Austin Federley tried to put it on, but it was well defended there, and Scott with an easy save. We're past the halfway point of this third period. Prowlers still with a 4-2 lead. As it's dumped out, Schumacher able to block away that headman feed. Scott deflects it towards his defenseman. It's lifted high and out. That puck hit the roof here at Big Boy Arena, the low roof. So we'll have a whistle and we will take a timeout. 4-2 Prowlers with 9:32 to go in the third period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here in Motor City, 9:32 to go, third period, and the Prowlers still with that 4-2 lead on the Motor City Rockers. Let's take a quick look at the scores around the FPHL before we get things back underway. The Binghamton Black Bears are blowing out Watertown 6-0 early in the third. The Elmira Mammoth and Delaware Thunder are tied at 1 in the third period in Delaware. Down in Carolina, the Thunderbirds have a 5-1 lead over the FPHL leading Columbus River Dragons. That one's early in the third period. And at the beginning of the third period, it's the Mississippi Seawolves with a 2-1 lead on the Danbury Hat-Tricks. That's a score to keep your eye on. Schumacher sent it deep. It was deflected high. Freeborn back into the zone. Drops it off. Graham all the way across towards Jay. Couldn't put it on net. Here's Koash. Back comes Schumacher. Icing is waved off. And Henning comes and rescues the puck. Jay and Graham on the rush. Here's Dalton Jay to the outside. His shot able to be stopped by Blake Scott. And then that puck deflects out of play by Roman Gaudet. 8:50 to go in the third period of a pretty low event, past 31 or so minutes of game time. The entire second period, just one penalty to tell you about, no goals. And then in this third period so far, just the one goal. So a pretty low event game so far between these two teams. Prowlers would like to keep it that way, holding a 4-2 lead. Fed over and then turned over by the Prowlers forecheck. Looks like Port Huron is going to its first power play of the game. A tripping call coming up against the Motor City Rockers. I can't see who that is on the near side boards quite yet. It is Nick McGill-Diaz. We can see now. So the first power play of the game for the Prowlers. The third-ranked power play in the league at 21%. While the PK for the Motor City Rockers tied for 6th in the FPHL with the Elmira Mammoth at 79.8% coming into tonight. So the Rockers are 0 for 1 on the power play tonight as the Prowlers killed off a second period penalty. And we'll see if Port Huron can get itself on the board and extend this lead to 3 on the man advantage. Vartiainen works it back to Schumacher. Here's Federley. Over to Larry Vartiainen. Federley again. Schumacher collects it off the boards. Quickly feeds it down low. Vartiainen rescues it. Now Foley in front looking for Gino Mini, who's been hanging out in that bumper spot the past few games on the power play. Federley over to Vartiainen. Whistles it wide. And it comes all the way down and out. 30 seconds gone and the penalty to Nick McGill-Diaz. Now 8 minutes to go, third period. A goal here would be an absolute dagger for the Prowlers as Gino Mini is going to go for interference as Conway couldn't step around Mini after Gino dropped the puck off to Austin Federley. A tough penalty for the Prowlers to take just 44 seconds into their power play. But we'll play 4-on-4 for the next minute and 16 before an abbreviated Rockers power play. I'm not sure that Gino Mini really meant to set the pick there. He just dropped it off to Federley. And Conway was who was defending Mini when he had the puck, was trying to get around Gino Mini as soon as he dropped it off. And that's tough to do with Gino Mini sporting that 6'4", 215-pound frame. By the way, we're at 4-on-4 as Liam Freeborn just able to keep his footing. Merritt goes for it in the corner, out towards Freeborn. Couldn't direct it on net. Koash put a hit on Freeborn. Puck bouncing around there. And White able to move it up ice. Then Conway blows a tire. Tripped over the blue line there, did Declan Conway. And now Hainsel steps out. 35 seconds left in 4-on-4. As Freeborn up to Hainsel. Drops it back to Freeborn all by himself with the Prowlers making a change. He just sends it all the way back out to center where Matt Graham was waiting for it. Freeborn into the Rockers zone. Clouston there. Vaughn Clouston with some speed. 10 seconds left in 4-on-4. As Ryder gets into the zone with plenty of speed. Brad Ryder to the net! And that one wouldn't go for Brad Ryder. It's a 5-on-4 power play now for the Rockers. 40 seconds left on that. As Williams goes off the glass and out all the way down. Under 6.5 to play in this third period. That was the best look for the Rockers in quite a while. But Brad Ryder unable to put it in the back of the net. Colton over to Suffredini. Into the zone. Gives to Conway. Tried to feed the slot. That was deflected away by a good Prowler stick. Final 10 seconds now ticking off of Minnie's penalty. Graham disrupts that pass. Jay took it away. Now Colton moves it up ice. We're back to 5-on-5. So both teams able to kill their penalties. As that long pass from Suffredini missed its target and goes all the way down for a Rockers icing with 5:45 to go in this third period. So Motor City Rockers do get some goals tonight, but they still need 2 more after they went 2 straight games getting shut out down in Columbus. And you want to make it over 7 periods because they didn't score in the third period of their previous game. That was on New Year's Eve here against the Prowlers. That was a Port Huron win. Rockers have lost 3 straight, and now Wyatt Hofflin is going to get a penalty. I don't know why Wyatt Hofflin is getting a penalty because Declan Conway did skate right through his crease. Prowlers are unhappy with this call, as I thought Conway skated right through Hofflin's crease. But Hofflin definitely did get a piece of him. There's no questioning that. But I thought Declan Conway, was in Wyatt Hofflin's crease on that play. I think that's what the Prowlers are arguing right now with the referees. But it doesn't matter as the Rockers go to their third power play, their second full 2-minute power play, as they had an abbreviated one just a couple minutes ago. A good opportunity for Motor City with about 5 minutes to go here in the third period. Working on getting the camera fixed here, as the Rockers get it moved up to the near side point. Foley trying to steal it away from McGill Diaz. Almost able to, but either way, Prowler's able to get it to center. Gaudette back in. And now Gaudette back to the point to Colton. Roaming Gaudette again. Now Colton feeds it down low to McGill Diaz. Couldn't go all the way across. Good block by Schumacher. Here's Gaudette. The Colton one-timer off the backboards. It sits there, and Johnson rescues it and clears. Halfway through the penalty to Wyatt Hofflin, 4:23 to go in the third period. Some more tense moments for the Prowlers, but Alex Johnson able to rescue that puck. It's now sent up towards Dalton J. Poked away from him, and now Koash back in. Here's Scott Koash. Taken in by Henning. To a side scrum below the goal line. Squirts up the wall towards White. His pass was disrupted by Jay. Comes back over to Ian White, winds and fires, and Hoffling got down to make the save. Graham able to chop it to center. 15 seconds to go in the penalty to Wyatt Hoffling, being served by Adam Hainsel. Here's Koash. Koash sent it all the way across. That hit something on the way through. Here's Conway on the nearest side. We're back to 5-on-5. Back out to Suffredini again. Here's Koash. Couldn't get a shot away. Schumacher trying to go the other way. Here's Frank Schumacher, 2-on-0, shoot it, and he missed it wide. Oh, that puck was rolling on Frank Schumacher, so not the easiest shot in the world. He could have had the dagger. We have 3 minutes to go in the period. Merritt with a steal, and he's muscled off by Giuliano. Chartrand up top, Mini. Winds down to Federley, shoots, just missed it wide. Federley again in the corner. Head up as he turns the corner, gets up top, puts it on. Saved by Scott, the rebounds there. Mini couldn't handle it. Rockers trying to go the other way. Giuliano working on Federley. Takes the shot in and out of Hoffland's glove. He dives out to hold on. And now there's a scrum going on in the corner. Couple of players heading to the net. It was Chartrand and Rotundi. And they'll separate them. 2.5 minutes to go in this third period. Prowlers still with that 4-2 lead. And they've killed off a couple of penalties. And we will take our final timeout. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
We do invite you to tune in to our next broadcast tomorrow when the Prowlers host the Motor City Rockers again. Puck drop at McMorran Place is scheduled for 6:05 p.m. and the pregame show starts at 5:50. It's all right here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. We've had a good one tonight. It was all goals all the time in the first period, but since then the tallies have been hard to come by. Larry Vartiainen with the only one. After that first period, he scored to make it 4-2 early in this third period. Blake Scott is on the bench right now, so a 6-on-5 advantage for the Rockers. They need 2 in the next 2:28, and now it looks like Motor City is going to call its timeout. So I'll let you continue to look at the times and make sure you have everything all set up to watch our broadcast tomorrow night as we take you through this game so far. Well, Larry Vartiainen got the scoring started just over a minute into the first period, but the Rockers got 2 back from Declan Conway and Jonathan Giuliano. Austin Federley responded to that one past the halfway point of the frame, and then Federley picked up another one late in that period to make it 3-2 Prowlers. That's how the score stood until early in the third period when Vartiainen scored again to make it 4-2 Prowlers. Shots on goal in this third period, 9-5 in favor of Port Huron. It's on pace to be the lowest shot total period for either team tonight, 38-29 in favor of the Prowlers overall. Austin Federley and Larry Vartiainen, of course, 2 goals apiece. Evan Foley has a pair of assists for the Prowlers right now. Meanwhile, for Motor City, Cade Lambden has a couple of assists. Rockers are going to need a couple of more goals here. They send out Thompson, Gaudette, Ryder, Suffredini, White, and Conway. So no Scott Kowash, who's currently leading the team in goals and points. Foley trying to get it out. Rockers able to keep it right back in. Hofflin just rims it around the glass. Only got as far as the corner. Rockers hard on the puck. Comes back to the point. White. Ryder. All the way across. One-timer. They score. So a big goal there from Everett Thompson at the side of the crease. It's now a one-goal game with 2:07 to go. A big one. Gets the crowd going here at Big Boy Arena. It's a one-goal game. Scott will head back into his crease. And for Everett Thompson, it's his 4th goal of the season. And the Ryder line will, well, at least most of the forwards staying out there. Thompson, the only one out of those 6 that I mentioned a moment ago, coming off the ice as Scott steps back into the net. So the Prowlers with a tighter lead here as Freeborn taken down by Suffredini. They're going to call that, and the Prowlers will go to a power play with 1 minute and 56 seconds to go. And you talk about taking the wind out of your team's sails for Dante Suffredini. A tripping penalty with your team down 1, under 2 minutes to go. And the Prowlers have a power play. We'll see how they run it here. A tripping call on Dante Suffredini as we wait for Ian White to get his equipment all set, and referees trying to figure out who is and isn't supposed to be on the ice. Right now for the Motor City Rockers, they're dragging Scott Kowash off the bench, sending Brendan Ryder back to the bench. Now Kowash and Merritt will slide in for the draw. Johnson to Freeborn. Wrists it far wide. Graham to Johnson. Prowlers just looking to play the possession game and ride out the rest of this one. Jay to the back door. That was cut off by Kowash. He clears it all the way down. Cade Lambden chasing it for the Rockers. Scott stays put as the Prowlers hold on to possession in their own end. 90 seconds to go in the 3rd period. More time on this Prowlers power play than there is up on the big game clock in this 3rd period. Graham drops it off to Mary. He shoots, he scores! Power play goal, Sam Merritt, and that one may be the dagger. 1:15 to go in the 3rd period. And a big one, big response by the Prowler power play. It's Sam Merritt on the receiving end of that pass from Matt Graham. He now has a 6-game point streak, his 12th of the season. And Sam Merritt pulls into a tie with Matt Graham with his 6th power play goal of the year for most on the Prowlers. Boys, he come alive on the power play, has Sam Merritt. So the Rockers right back where they started as Scott to the bench. Conway had it knocked off his stick. Neither of the 2-goal guys are out on the ice right now. It's the Graham line as the Rockers are off sides. 59.9 seconds up on the clock as we just hit the final minute of play in this one. It's rimmed in, net empty. Hofflin, he'll just rim it around the boards and it gets out. Klausted gets the red line, rims it hard around. Conway put it behind the net. Here's Thompson towards Conway, bounces around in the slot there, finally on goal, and a good reactionary save from Hofflin. comes back out in front. He's able to get that too. Freeborn, second attempt, able to get it out. 26 seconds to go in the third period. Clouston blew a tire, gave it over to Colton. He tried to drop it off. Comes over to Clouston, down low, and Ryder couldn't get a stick on it. 14 seconds left on the clock. And now comes out to Freeborn, who's by himself. He'll hit the empty net with 6.6 to go in this third period. And then we have a little extracurricular activity going on at center. Alex Johnson involved. And Von Clausen, I don't think, is happy that Liam Freeborn was hanging just a little bit with the empty net at the other end. But the Prowlers have made it a 6-3 game. And they're on their way to winning another game as they came into this one with victories in 3 of their last 4. Make it 4 of 5 as Gaudette and Johnson have been sent to the dressing room. So with this victory that will be made official in 6.6 seconds, Prowlers will move to 17-11-3, 53 points, still second in the Continental Division, and pick up their 11th road win of the season. Meanwhile, Motor City drops to 14-10-3 with 43 points. They'll stay in 4th in the Continental, and they drop to 6-4-2 here at Big Boy Arena. One more face-off to make it official as Vartiainen just curls back, and that's going to do it as the Port Huron Prowlers defeat the Motor City Rockers by a final score of 6-3 here in Fraser. A great game all around for the Prowlers. And before we get too deep into the post-game show, another reminder to tune into our next broadcast coming up tomorrow night when the Prowlers host these Rockers at 6:05 p.m. at McMorran Place. Be sure to get here early for the pregame show at 5:50. Well, most of the action in this one came in the opening period as Larry Vartiainen scored 1 minute and 1 second into that frame. But the Rockers able to get a couple back. Declan Conway, Jonathan Giuliano scoring 3 minutes and 10 seconds apart. And that made it a 2-1 Motor City game. Austin Federley picked up 2 of his own, though, before the end of that period. And the Prowlers went into the first intermission with a 3-2 lead. And then they went into the second intermission, also with that 3-2 lead intact, with no goals in the second period. Third period began, and another early goal from Larry Vartiainen. This one, 1 minute 14 into the game, or into the period. That gave the Prowlers a 2-goal cushion, which they needed, as Everett Thompson, with exactly 2 minutes to go in the third, and the goaltender pulled, made it a 1-goal game again. It was a quick response from the Prowlers as just seconds after Thompson scored that goal to pull his team within 1, Dante Suffredini took a tripping penalty in his defensive zone. That sent the Prowlers to the power play, and Sam Merritt cashed in with a dagger to make it 5-3. Liam Freeborn got the empty netter with 6.6 seconds up on the clock. Final shots on goal for this game we'll give to you in just a second. 40 for the Prowlers, 31 for the Motor City Rockers. Of course, the Prowlers being led by Austin Federley and Larry Vartiainen's 2 goals. Alex Johnson and Dalton Jay and Evan Foley, 2 assists apiece in this game. While Wyatt Hoffland was spectacular, 28 saves on 31 shots. Meanwhile, for the Rockers, Cade Lambden had a pair of assists. Conway, goal and an assist for him for a 2-point night, while Blake Scott picks up the loss 34 saves on 39 shots against the Port Huron Prowlers. Before we step out, let's take one more look around the FPHL. Well, first, actually, let's give you the 3 stars of the game. Austin Federley, the first star for the Prowlers with his 2 goals. Larry Vartiainen, also 2 goals. He gets 2nd star honors. And Declan Conway is the 3rd star with his goal and assist for the Motor City Rockers. Checking out around the FPHL, the Watertown Wolves have gotten a couple back, but they're still down 6-2 to the Binghamton Black Bears. They play late in the 3rd period in Watertown. The Elmira Mammoth defeated the Delaware Thunder by a score of 2-1. Tate Leeson with the game winner, coming with 3:20 on the board in that game. So another loss for the Delaware Thunder, who lost over 20 in a row. Boy, we're in blowout territory down in Carolina as the Thunderbirds are leading the FPHL's top team, the Columbus River Dragons, 7-2. That one late in the 3rd period. And the Mississippi Seawolves, upset alert, have a 2-1 lead on the Danbury Hat-Tricks early in the 3rd period. Well, that's going to do it for me. Thanks so much for watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey. We will see you next time on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel.